Alrighty guys, as I keep bringing us another Dragon Ball Legends ToP guide video. This is going to be in regards to ToP Season 52. So last season, we finished at rank 4,639. We ended up trying out that purple Demon King Piccolo, and he sucked. Definitely do not recommend running him in the future. We will no longer have him as even a suggestion for our teams. But putting that aside, we definitely secured that juicy 1000 CC, and that will forever be the main goal of these kinds of videos. So that being said, there will always be timestamps in the description down below. That way you guys can go ahead and get to where you need to go. So the first thing we're going to be talking about is our pathing. As usual, the circled fights in red are going to be the most important fights, as they are going to be the fights that yield you the most points. Right, you get a bonus for every increment of 5th fight, so 5th, 10th, 15th, 20th, 25th, those are going to be your big bonus tiles. And I do always like to note that the path can deviate from time to time. This isn't always a guaranteed path right here, but for the most part, the circled fights do stay the same. So now for the next segment, we're going to be talking about tips and tricks, basically going over what are going to be the most trickiest fights along our path. But the first tip that I'm going to be giving you guys is to level up your friendship rank for your entire roster. We're going to show an example right here with this first form cell. We do have him at friendship rank 10. You can see his stats right here. They look nice, especially that key restore speed, right? Sitting at 2,684, which is an important stat because that dictates whether you're going to be attacking before your opponent or not. But when we look at regular stats, it gets reduced to 2,557, right? Because you get bonus stats, you get an increase to all of your health, strike attack, blast attack, all that good stuff directly through friendship rank. So make sure you guys are doing your 3 daily stages from the Let's Fight event. So first fight we encounter right here is against Tapion. You do usually want to take out Tapion first because he will reduce your super attack gauge down to 0 at the start of turn 2, only for one of your units at random, but it's still kind of annoying, right? Then after him, Turles is going to be a big threat because of all the debuffs he inflicts upon you. So next fight we have this kind of like ragtag Vegeta clan team slash future, I suppose. You have a lot of cover changes to go around here, future, all the legends limited units, right? But you want to go after Mai first because she will stun you at the end of turn 2. And then another very important thing you have to make sure to do is you have to kill the buff Trunks before you kill the Vegeta unit, right? Because that Trunks will get 100% to a special move gauge if an allied Vegeta character is defeated. And then we have this stage, of course, the Kid Gohan stage. Make sure you guys kill Kid Gohan first because he will get his super attack for every dead ally, meaning he can launch more than one super attack. If you guys have the means to take out that Gohan and Beerus in turn 1, definitely go for that because that Beerus will stun you at the start of turn 2. Next we have another Sagas from the movie stage right here. That Green Gogeta is going to be your biggest threat because he will not only stun you on turn 3 but super attack you on turn 3 as well. You do have a bit of time before that happens, so make sure you do get him out of the way. There's 2 stuns here that you do have to be aware of. That purple Goku will stun you turn 1, nothing you can do about it. It's no point even marking him right here, right? But that red Janemba will stun you upon eating a blast card. So usually you do see him go for him last. Next we have this powerful opponent setup right here. Go for the droids first, especially if you're like me. I'm running 3 blues right here. We can get through those droids pretty easily, but we have to make sure we get them on turn 1 before they even get a chance to tag swap out into the 18 version, right? And then after that, I would say get rid of the yellow cell as he provides support and debuffs. So next we have this Ultra Broly stage, and Ultra Broly will be your primary target because he will stun you at the start of turn 2. If you can get Broly and Tapion in turn 1, then kudos to you. That's definitely going to be the most optimal play here, but if you're unsure of that happening, then definitely just focus down Broly. Next we have the Bojack Unbound movie team right here. So the Bojacks are going to be your biggest threat right here, right? Because this red Bojack will super attack you at the start of turn 2, kind of, towards the beginning of turn 2 at least. So you want to kill him in turn 1. And then this purple Bojack will super attack you towards the end of turn 2, right? Because the red Bojack has a kind of a decent key restore speed. The purple one has a very low key restore speed. Just know that 2 super attacks will launch against you on turn 2. So if you can get those 2 out of the way, you're going to be golden. This guy Bujun, he will stun you on turn 2, but your priority is still with the Bojack, so you kind of have to just eat that. Next we have the Ultra Gogeta stage. So Ultra Gogeta, again, probably your biggest threat right here. The most important takeaway from him though is that he gets 20% to a special move gauge per defeated ally. So whatever you do, you don't have to target him first, but definitely do not target him last, especially because he gets an extra 10% every time he uses a strike or blast arts. Another fight where there's 2 ultras here. Ultra Broly will be your primary focus, and then the Ultra Gogeta The rest should follow pretty easily. Probably you go for the Legends Limited Cooler right after those two. This fight has been covered time and time again. All you really need to do here is take out that purple Bojack before he super attacks you towards the end of turn 2, and you'll be golden. So next we have this mono red team with the inclusion of Blue Metal Cooler. I like to go for the androids first, the tag droids, before they get a chance to swap. And then I will go for Super 13 because that's the safest route. In a perfect world, I would go for tag droids, Tapion, get them both in the first turn if I can, and then we can focus on the Super 13. And that is pretty much it for the most difficult fights that lie in this path right here. If there's any fights that you guys think that I should have covered, let me know in the comments down below. Maybe we can go ahead and figure it out. So now talking about our top teams, the first one that we have here is Team Bardock. They are going to be absolutely great for points, but it can be very, very squishy, right? You absolutely need Fascia for this team, especially if you're running a pure Bardock squad. The reason why is because this blue Fascia acts as the healer for the team, right? She has a pretty good range for it as well. At the end of the second turn, allied tag team Bardock in range, restores health by 3%, and gives them a nice little extra buff to keep recovering. The good thing here is that since this is a team comprised of Saiyans, you can use other units within the tag as replacements. As you see with my team, I have the red Zenkai Goku, who's in S tier, Namek Goku S tier, and the yellow Vegeta in S tier. The Zenkai Goku and the Zenkai Vegeta super attack every other fight, so boom, you got extra damage right there, you got an extra healer. I feel like this would be a very safe team for you. Next we have Frieza Force with the inclusion of Red Pycon, so immediately Red Pycon does stand out right here because he is one of your DPS units or one of your damage dealing units, whatever you want to call it, because at the start of the third turn, he does get 100% to a special move gauge as well as a buff for it. What could make this team even more safe or comfortable for you though is subbing out the Blue Pod Frieza for the Revival Frieza, as he is a healer for LOE or Frieza Force, as you do see with my team right here, instead of the one that you see on the right hand side. At the end of the turn, allied tag Frieza Force or Lineage of Evil, restores health by 2%, activates twice. So next we have GT finally returning to our top 5. The standout units here are definitely the Zenkai GT Goku, since he will super every other fight. We've already talked about that a little bit before. The EX Sin Shenron provides good support and is strong against Saiyan teams. And the EX Omega gets 20% to special move gauge of fight and heals himself upon using it. Unfortunately, I do not have that EX Omega Shenron. Some of you guys probably won't have him or the Majube, which can make those units a little bit tricky to replace. But personally, I would just go ahead and bring Zenkai Super Baby 2. Not only is he going to be providing heals for you, he's probably one of the best healers in the game, right? Specifically for Tag GT or Regeneration, so this is where he wants to be. But specifically on GT because he provides the Zenkai buff for the Tag GT. This actually may be my favorite team for this season. I feel like this is probably the most safest team this season, even above Regeneration. And just for reference, here is another team in the top 100 using GT with Super Baby 2. So next we have Sagas from the movies. As we've already talked about, this red Turles up here is amazing due to his debuffs and ability to heal himself. This purple Turles right here has the ability to heal himself, and he provides a Zenkai buff for your purple Bojack, who gets a guaranteed super attack on turn 2, which makes him, he also heals himself. I didn't even realize that on the third turn he gets his health back by 10%. So definitely a powerful combination there. And the green EX Dowser just works incredibly well with the EX Blue Cooler, as they can both farm super attacks fairly quick. Personally, I like this green EX Bujin over that green EX Frieza, even though Bujin's a lower tier, because this guy does provide a stun at the start of turn 2, and he just has a better Z ability specifically for that purple Bojack. Another great thing about this team is that Sagas from the movies have so many replacements that you can choose from. If you really are unsure about this team, you have some of the components, but you want a dedicated healer, just dive into B tier. You can either pick up this Gamma 2 right here, who will heal allies in range by 2% on the third turn, or this yellow Goku, the Super Saiyan Goku from the Cooler movie, and he's going to be able to heal allies in range by 3%, activates twice for a total of 6% after receiving an attack. So last but not least, we are going to be talking about Regeneration. And strangely enough, I actually found a Regeneration user in the top 100 this time, which is kind of a rare occurrence for us, right? So the thing with this guy's team right here on the right hand side, he's rank 17. That Kid Buu is so damn strong. If you're going to use this setup, that Kid Buu has to be in play for a majority of your fights, because he provides amazing, incredible debuffs. He applies them to the enemy team, allowing you to kind of just steamroll. That's pretty much the glue of the team right there. there. But you also see a bunch of GT units mixed in right here, right? You see the Majub and the blue EX Omega Shinron, both of which I do not have, right? And so you guys might feel similar. That's why I'm running this team right here, which is our basic run-of-the-mill team, which we use quite frequently. So in Z tier, we're going to be picking up the Final Form Perfect Cell, right? He provides debuffs for us. And then in S tier, we're going to be picking up the Second Form Cell, who does have a stun for us at the end of turn 2, which is always nice. It's very RNG dependent. Another unit we're going to be using again is that purple Buhan, right? Because he performed well for us once. Let's see if he performs well for us once again. Now for your red option, you actually have a couple things going on right here, right? This red Piccolo, he's pretty good. He's in S tier, but I'm not sure how much of you guys have him or if you guys are willing to use him or not. Plus, he's a melee type. We pretty much go for mostly blast-based units. That's why we are going to be using the red 21, especially since she is free to play. I feel like she's more accessible, but if you do have this red Piccolo, I do recommend trying him out. If you guys want to try out this red Janemba, do so with caution. He has really bad damage. Really bad damage. He can tank decently, but he does have the ability to stun the enemy upon receiving a blast arts attack. Then of course we have our mainstays, our main healers with the Fat Boo and the Super Baby 2. This blue Piccolo, who is in A tier pretty much always. He farms super attack very quickly. And that green first form Cell, he's one of my favorites because he has really high key restore speed. Obviously he can be replaced by this Revival Gohan, this Buhan, or even this Zenkai green Piccolo right here. Honestly, maybe he can even be replaced by this green Baby Vegeta. Right? The only thing that I don't like about this Baby Vegeta is that he does not buff the regeneration tag. Let me know if you guys want me to use him or not in the comments down below. With that being said, that's going to go ahead and wrap it up for today's video. Hopefully you guys did enjoy. If you guys have any questions, comments, or concern relating to anything ToP related, I don't know why I said related twice, but just let me know in the comments. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Later!